need you to sit with that for a second because it's going to bother you for the rest of this video. You didn't choose their laugh. You didn't choose the way your chest tightened the first time they looked at you a second too long. You didn't sit down one day and rashly compare them to other options and pick the best one like you would a phone or a car. Something in you decided before you did. And today, I want to show you exactly what that something is, because it's not your heart, it's not fate, it's not even really about them. It's a 200,000-year-old survival mechanism, a tiny rodent nobody's heard of, and a decision your brain made when you were 4 years old. Stay till the end, because the third reason is the one nobody tells you. And once you hear it, you will never look at your own relationships the same way again. Here's the question everyone asks: why do I love this person? Wrong question. Your brain doesn't work like a court case, weighing evidence for and against someone until it reaches a verdict called love. If it did, love would make sense, and anyone who has ever loved someone knows it rarely does. The real question is, why does love feel like it has no reason at all? And the answer is uncomfortable, because love was never designed to be reasonable. It was designed to be fast. Reasonable takes too long. Nature doesn't have time for you to write a pros and cons list while a rival mate walks by. So instead, evolution built something quicker than logic, something that hijacks your brain before your reasoning brain even gets evoked. To understand how fast and how blind this system is, we don't even need to look at humans first. We need to look at a rodent the size of your thumb. Quick detour, because it proves a point in 10 seconds. There's a tiny rodent called the prairie vole. Genetically, it's almost identical to a cousin species that mates and moves on with no attachment at all. But the prairie vole bonds with one partner for life and grieves in a measurable way when that partner dies. The only real difference between the two species is how their brains are wired to reward bonding. Here's why that matters for you. If something as simple as a rodent's brain can be built to fall in love with one specific individual, automatically, with no conscious choice involved, it should stop surprising you that your own falling in love feeling isn't a decision either. It's older than decisions. It's wiring. Now back to you, because your version of this is far more complicated. Because unlike a vole, you don't just bond with anyone who triggers the reward system. You bond with a very specific kind of person, over and over again, even when that type keeps breaking your heart. That's not chemistry anymore. That's something psychology has a name for. Brain imaging research shows that when people look at a photo of someone they love, specific regions, the caudate nucleus and the ventral tegmental area, light up more than usual. The same reward circuitry that produces dopamine, your brain's go-get-it chemical. That's why new love can feel like a drug, because to your brain, in a very real sense, it is one. But here's what most videos about love chemicals leave out. Dopamine explains the feeling. It does not explain the selection. Dopamine can't tell you why. Out of 8 billion people, your brain lit up like a firework for that one voice, that one sense of humor, that one specific kind of attention. That selection happened somewhere else, somewhere much older and much quieter. Psychologists call it your attachment blueprint, and it was built before you could talk. As a small child, you learned not consciously, but in your nervous system, what love felt like. Maybe love felt like someone who was warm but inconsistent. Maybe it felt like someone you had to work to get attention from. Maybe it felt calm and safe, or maybe it felt like walking on eggshells. You didn't choose the lesson, you just absorbed it, the way you absorbed your native language, simply by being alive inside it. And here's the part that explains almost every confusing relationship you've ever had. Your adult brain doesn't go looking for people who are good for you. It goes looking for people who feel familiar. Familiar and good are not the same thing. That's the trap. If chaos felt like love when you were 7, calm can feel boring at 27, even if calm is exactly what's healthy for you. If earning affection felt like love as a child, someone who gives you affection freely can feel unconsciously almost suspicious, too easy. Something must be wrong. Meanwhile, someone unpredictable lights up your nervous system precisely because it matches an old, familiar pattern. This is why you can meet someone kind, stable, emotionally available, and feel nothing, and meet someone who runs hot and cold and feel your whole chest ignite. It's not chemistry, it's recognition. Your brain isn't asking, who is right for me? It's asking, silently, underneath your awareness, who is this like? And here's one line that should change how you think about all of this. Your body isn't just feeling these unconscious patterns, it's measuring them. Those same reward regions that light up for someone you love are the same circuitry involved in addiction, which is why heartbreak doesn't just hurt emotionally, it registers in your body almost like withdrawal. You were never too sensitive for feeling love physically. You were accurate. So let's go back to the original question. Why do you love someone for no reason? Because by the time you consciously notice the feeling, your unconscious mind already finished its work. It scanned this person against every blueprint of love you absorbed as a child. It found a match. It flagged them as familiar, which your nervous system reads as safe, even when sometimes it isn't. And only after all of that had already happened did your reward system light up and your rational brain wake up to start inventing reasons. You don't fall in love and then find reasons. You find reasons because you already fell. And you fell because something in you recognized this person long before you consciously met them. Now here's the part I promised you at the beginning, the one most people never hear. If your type is really just your childhood familiarity pattern in disguise, that means it can be examined, not erased. You're not a prairie vole. You have something they don't. The ability to notice your own wiring while it's running. The next time you feel that unreasonable, electric, can't explain it pull towards someone, pause for 1 second and ask yourself a strange question. Does this feel like love or does this feel like home? Sometimes they're the same thing, but sometimes home was never actually safe. And the single most powerful thing you can do for your future relationships is learn to tell the difference. Not by killing the spark, but by staying curious about why the spark is there in the first place. That's not unromantic. That's the only way love stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you actually choose. So you didn't choose them. Not really. Not at first. But you can choose what you do with what your brain already decided. If this changed how you think about your own type or the person you can't quite explain why you love, tell me in the comments. Does it feel like love or does it feel like home? And if you want the next one, where I show you how this exact same unconscious pattern shows up in your friendships, not just your romances, hit subscribe because that video is coming next.